Mariners lose 6-4. They lose the middle game of the three-game series against the Red Sox. That series is even at 1 games apiece. And the Mariners fall to 55 and 52. Let's go over how it happened real quick. Mariners get one in the first. We'll talk about it. Eugenio Suarez singles home JP Crawford. Technically, Crawford scores on an error. I think he would have scored, you know, anyway, but well, maybe not. It was a pretty close play at the plate. So yeah, Crawford scores on an error. 1-0. Fourth inning, Christian Arroyo hits a ground rule double. We'll certainly talk about that as well to make it 2-1 with the bases loaded. Reese McGuire hits a sacrifice fly to score Adam Duvall 3-1. Fifth inning, Alex Verdugo crushes a home run with, I almost called him Ezekiel. I'm not surprised. Jaron Duran homers. With Jaron Duran on second base, Alex Verdugo homers, that is. I'm pretty ticked off tonight. There'll be some mistakes. I'm also tired, and we'll talk about that in a second, too. To make it 5-1, Eugenio Suarez gets him back into the game. 5-3 with a 2-run homer. Reese McGuire homers to make it 6-3. Mariners get one in the sixth. 6-4. Nobody else scores. Mariners lose. Okay, before we get into the game, I do want to say thank you to everyone who came out for the live chat today during the deadline. I was thinking we might get like 10 to 15 people in here at a time, something like that. We had like 70 at one point. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Made it feel like, I mean, I don't care. Like, I'll do this for one person. I'll talk to anybody for about baseball. I just need one person. And sometimes that one person can be me. If I was just having a conversation with myself, it would be worth it. I will link a copy to that chat. We went over all the big deals and the lack of deals that happened today. But I just want to say for everybody who tuned in for that, it meant so much. It feels like this channel is growing. It feels like there's some sustainability. Only got a couple of trolls. I'll take it. I'm so thankful to everybody who has supported this channel so far. Positives. Ty France had a really nice game. 3 hits, stung the baseball in all 3 hits that he made. 2 of them, I think maybe he had 3 doubles, 2 doubles, and then 1 base hit. So we'll take that. Great to see on a day where I wasn't 100% sure he'd remain a Seattle Mariner. Okay, Marlowe had a really nice game. Eugenio Suarez had a really nice game. Bullpen was great. Devin Sweet looked pretty good. Trey Thornton looked awesome. And getting 2 1/3 innings, having him be that long guy, that's great to see. He was efficient, threw everything for strikes, and he probably should have been earlier in the game because Bryce Miller was not good tonight. He looked okay in the first couple innings. He was playing with fire, and the fire ended up burning him. And 5 2/3 innings of 6 runs is pretty deserved. Gives up the couple of homers. I will say, I think they stuck with him too long, and this has been an issue I think with Service all year. And it's not 100% his fault because, like we've talked about, without Flexen, and even with Flexen when he was there being so awful, they don't have a long guy. Now, it looks like Trent Thornton might be able to fill that role a little bit. Certainly know he has the arm strength, former starter. He looked good. Maybe he can be that guy. It'd be great to have that long guy. But it's not the reason they lost because they didn't score enough runs. They didn't get to the 6. Didn't help. And again, we talk about this. And also I talked, by the way, about how I'm going to try my best to stop saying again so much. I don't know what it is about that word, but we've talked about it a bunch this year. The difference between being down 1 and 2, how you play the game is much different. It'd be really nice if that was a 5-4 game. Different offensive approach, your defense is aligned differently, a bunch of stuff changes. And I think Service has stuck with these guys a little too long this year. It's a problem. It's certainly not the main reason why the Mariners have been a mediocre baseball team for most of the year, but it's not good. Lots of negatives tonight. Julio struggled, did get the hit. scorched the ball. In fact, I think I saw something like it was like 112 or 114 or something like that. That was great. Then a couple of really bad at bats, really bad at bat in the ninth inning. Um, Not only struck out, but uh, fouled off a couple of pitches he should have clobbered. It's good he's on timing. And the overall takeaway from Julio over the past month or so has been so positive. But tonight was tough. Um, Anyone else I want to get into the negatives before we get into the real negatives? JP didn't have his best game. Does draw the one walk. Uh, yeah, let's just get into it. Where to start? It's really hard. Let's start with the new guys who both had pretty bad games. Now, look, congrats to Kenzone on the double, and he did hit one ball hard. You also saw this is not a good defensive player, and it cost you 2 runs tonight. That ground rule double, that has to be caught. That has to be caught. We've complained about it with Teoscar Hernandez all year. I realize this is a rookie playing in his very first game. I'm tired of excuses for bad defense. That ball has to be caught. And his at bat also with the bases loaded and nobody out was awful. Awful. Josh Rojas was terrible tonight. Made a couple of nice defensive plays. He's going to be fine at second base. But he's been a bad offensive player for most of the year. Better than Colton Wong, but not a good game from either of those guys. And he and Mike Ford and Josh Rojas were overall terrible tonight. And because of the decision for the Mariners that they don't care enough about this baseball team this year, you're going to be relying on them an awful lot down the stretch. And that sucks. That sucks. I wasn't even planning on recording a video tonight because, look, I talked for an hour and 15 minutes with 0 break this afternoon. 0. And then had to do some other stuff like, life. But I was so ticked off, especially after Mike Ford's at bat tonight with 2 runners on, got runners on second and third. He's facing Josh Winkowski. Josh Winkowski has decent stuff. He's been a big part of why Boston has a chance to make the postseason. He got worked. He looked like a AAA player facing a major league hitter. And outside of the homers, that's what Mike Ford has looked like all year. I know he's a fun story. I again, this is an actual again. I think this is one of the best things about baseball is that you get stories like Mike Ford. Guys, dude, I've been given up and pushed around and kicked and moved from organization to organizations. I've joked that Mike Ford has played for 31 of 30 Major League Baseball teams now. But he's not good enough. It's not acceptable that a team, you told me, Seattle Mariners, you told me that this was a World Series contending team. You told me that to my face. You told all of us that to our faces, that this was a World Series contending team. And Mike Ford is your starting designated hitter. You told that to my face. You told that to my grandmother's face. You told that to 40,000 people every night to open the year's faces. And when you had a chance to get better today, you decided to not. And shame on you. You're not moving the goalposts on me anymore. I'm holding you accountable. And if you watched Mike Ford's at bat tonight, Justin Hollander, Jerry DePoto, and John Stanton, and didn't come away ashamed of yourself that is your best option as the designated hitter, then shame on you. One of the most pathetic at bats I've seen a major league hitter take this year. And folks, I watch a lot of baseball. And this is not meant to be throwing Mike Ford under the bus. This is meant to throw the people who put himself and our team in this position. Our team, the city of Seattle. You put them in this position. I know what you're going to say too. You're going to say, Chris, why are you overreacting so much to one game? They've looked so good as of late. And you're 100% right. But they have put themselves into a position where losses like this hurt dramatically. They have put themselves into this position. And I'm just tired of the lack of accountability, folks. I'm tired of it. Because I'm just going to be flat out honest with you based on the move they made yesterday and based on the lack of moves they made today. I don't think they're a postseason team anymore. And for everybody who says, well, they weren't a postseason team before this, good for you, but also leave me alone. I don't care what you think. I had optimism for this team based on its starting pitching, based on its bullpen, based on some very talented offensive players, and based on the fact that I thought that the Seattle Mariners would get better. And that was foolish. That's on me. The last one's on me. I won't be fooled again. I cannot get over how bad that at bat was in as big of a situation as there was this year. Because they've got a chance to win another series tomorrow. You have to start getting sweeps. You have to start going on these long win streaks. There has to be something like an 8 or 9 gamer, maybe a 7 gamer. That's not true if they want to win every series for the rest of the year. They still got a shot then. Do you know how hard that is to win every series? Do you know how bleeping hard it is to go 2-3 every single time? If you can win 6 or 7 in a row, you can afford to have some series losses. But they haven't been able to do that for a lot of reasons. And one of them is they're relying on players like Mike Ford to be the designated hitter. And before that, it was Tommy gosh dang LaStella. And before that, it was AJ Flippin' Pollock. Canzone on that ball, I mean, and he just about misplayed another one tonight too, folks. And the announcer for the Seattle Mariners tried to make it seem like it was a great play. Yeah, he almost made it into a great play. Seeing a game like this and seeing the team not get better today, it just crushes me. I want this team to be good so bad. And I kind of hate that I care more about this team being good than the front office and the ownership group of the Seattle Mariners. But I'm sorry for yelling. I hope some of you are as frustrated as I am by this. And if not, good for you. Good for you. Doesn't make you a worse fan than me, doesn't make you a better fan than me, just makes you different. We celebrate differences on this channel. Logan Gilbert's against Cutter Crawford tomorrow. We'll get Crawford on Crawford action tomorrow before a massive 4-game series against the Angels. These games are so important right now, folks. Important for the players. Important for service, I think. I almost know. Doesn't seem like it's all that important for Stanton, Dipoto, and Hollander. Man, oh man. My oh why. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please hit like. Please tell your friends. Please don't make fun of me for yelling over a baseball game. But a frustrating one. A real frustrating one. Sports Sometimes podcast. Please check that out. RotoWire Fantasy Baseball podcast. Please check that out as well. I'm not happy.